Hello, my name is Dawson McVieters, and I am the president of the Ottawa Firefighters Community Foundation. Shortly following September 11th, 2001, a small group of retired Ottawa firefighters and friends felt the need to recognize those New York firefighters that died in the line of duty 9/11. At this time, it was determined that there was the need for Ottawa fallen firefighters to be officially recognized for the services and the sacrifices as well. In 2002, the first Ottawa Firefighters Memorial Service was held at City Hall, where we honored fallen firefighters that died in the line of duty, as well as those that died a legacy of courage. The ceremony was held annually since that time. This is our 19th year. In 2006, the Ottawa Firefighters Community Foundation was formed. That same year, the City of Ottawa located land at the north side of City Hall for the purpose of building a firefighters monument. Since that time, a wonderful monument has been constructed, and our annual recognition ceremonies are held on that site. In attendance, our large audience composed of family members, fallen firefighters, active and retired firefighters, city firefighter officials, fire chaplains, and the Ottawa Fire Services Band, and the general public. However, this year, with the COVID-19 pandemic and varied restrictions, we are unable to hold the ceremonies in the usual manner. Instead, we have prepared a video which we feel will convey the same message and dignity and honorable recognition to the Ottawa firefighters that have died this past year. Our theme for this year is All Give Some and Some Give All.
Bonjour, je me présente Bob Rainbow, officier protocolaire du service des incendies d'Ottawa, et je vous accueille au nom de Dawson McVieters, le président de la Fondation communautaire des pompiers d'Ottawa. Peu de temps après la tragédie du 11 septembre 2001, un petit groupe de pompiers d'Ottawa à la retraite ont décidé qu'il serait bon de rendre hommage aux pompiers de New York. En même temps, on a estimé que les pompiers décédés d'Ottawa devraient également être reconnus. En 2002, la première cérémonie de reconnaissance a eu lieu à l'Hôtel de Ville d'Ottawa. En 2006, la Fondation communautaire des pompiers d'Ottawa a été créée et la Ville d'Ottawa a alloué un terrain du côté nord de l'Hôtel de Ville afin de construire un monument aux pompiers. Cependant, cette année, avec la pandémie de COVID-19, nous ne pouvons pas organiser la cérémonie de la manière habituelle. Nous avons plutôt préparé cette vidéo qui, à notre avis, transmettra le même message de reconnaissance digne et honorable aux pompiers d'Ottawa décédés depuis la cérémonie de l'an dernier. Notre thème cette année est « Tout en donne, certaines donnent tout ».
Today, we gather virtually to give thanks for the legacy and the courage of a number of firefighters over the years who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, both in the line of duty, but also for the years of service and care for this community. Today, as we gather before Almighty God, may we be blessed and strengthened by their memory. And as we remember them, we place them in the hands of God and ask Him to bring them rest and peace everlasting. In all that we do and say as a community, I think the highest regard that we can have for all the men and women who serve is to remember that every day they put their lives at risk for our safety and for our benefit. So let us take a moment and bow our heads and pray to whatever God you know. Almighty God, we thank you for the gift of faith that allows us to trust that those who we loved and knew and cared for and those who served us are in a place where they are taken care of, where they are remembered. And today, as we gather, as the City of Ottawa, in this annual memorial service, let us be constantly aware of their sacrifice, their courage, and their love for those who are left behind. Amen.
Hello, this is Jim Watson. Bonjour, ici Jim Watson. Unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we can't get together to honor the men and women who lost their lives serving our residents and our community here in the nation's capital. The memorial we have at City Hall serves as a reminder for all of the sacrifices these fallen firefighters have made in and for our community. Le monument à l'Hôtel de Ville rappelle le sacrifice que des pompiers ont consenti pour notre communauté. Today is a time to reflect, recognize and thank the firefighters who serve on the front line day in and day out. These brave women and men put their lives and safety at risk every day and with each call in order to protect the lives and property of others. Their commitment, bravery, and dedication have created a strong bond with so many people in our community. They're also educators, as you know, helping to teach us about the importance of fire safety. And firefighters are one of the most admired public servants here in Ottawa and right across our country. When a firefighter falls in the line of duty, the loss is felt by the entire community. Today, we take this opportunity to remember their sacrifices and express our appreciation. Our community never forgets your sacrifice and the risks that you face each and every day. I encourage everyone who passes by the memorial today and every day to take a moment to honor and remember those brave firefighters that we have lost. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Hello, I'm Fire Chief Kim Ayotte from Ottawa Fire Services. These are unprecedented times, and now more than ever, we need to come together. I want to speak to you as we join together to commemorate our fallen firefighters and to reflect on the sacrifices and commitments we all make to protect our nation's capital. While we cannot gather in person this year, I am thankful that we have the technology to be able to reach out and connect virtually. Merci d'avoir pris le temps aujourd'hui, alors que nous commémorons les pompiers qui ne sont plus avec nous. For the last 19 years, the Ottawa Firefighters Community Foundation has honored those who have died in the line of duty. Today, we pay tribute to the legacy of Courage members and line of duty death members, all brave firefighters who dedicated their lives to protecting the members of our community. I also want to take a moment to recognize the sacrifices of the families of the fallen. Our heartfelt thoughts and prayers go out to you. You are just as much a part of our Ottawa Fire Services family now and always. Nous aimerons, vous remercions et vous offrir notre soutien. I also want to reach out to all of you and ask you to take care of one another. Firefighting is a profession, community, a family. While we are distancing from one another for our physical health, we need to continue to find ways to support one another for our mental and emotional health. Pendant que nous sommes en train de célébrer les pompiers qui ne sont plus avec nous, n'oubliez pas d'offrir vos supports à vos amis, vos collègues et vos familles. Thank you for taking the time to honor the memory of our fallen.
Hello, I'm John Sobey, President of the Ottawa Professional Firefighters Association, proudly representing 953 brothers and sisters who serve to protect our nation's capital. as firefighters, communication dispatchers, fire inspectors, training officers, and our maintenance and technical support teams. Thank you all for what you do each day. Given the current COVID-19 pandemic and related federal, provincial, and municipal public health regulations, many symbolic events and ceremonies have either been canceled or postponed. The Ottawa Fallen Firefighters Memorial is just one of many such events to fall victim to these trying times. While it is unfortunate we may not be together at our sacred memorial site at City Hall to honor our fallen, it remains my privilege to extend our deepest condolences on behalf of the Ottawa Professional Firefighters Executive and members. I know how much we look forward to honoring and remembering our fallen with traditional honors such as the bell ceremony and the firefighter's prayer. In the meantime, allow me to take this opportunity to express my appreciation and gratitude to the men and women of this association who have and continue to advocate, assist, and work tirelessly on behalf of all of our active, retired members and their families. Thank you all for what you do. Once again, I know we look forward to honoring our fallen members, but I ask in the meantime, please stay well, stay safe.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as well as the families of our firefighters who died on duty, we are gathered today to pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, giving their lives. We would also like to honor those who have passed away and passed on their courage, serving the community as firefighters. Let us always keep them in our thoughts.
Distingués invités, mesdames et messieurs, ainsi que les familles de nos pompiers qui sont décédés en devoir, nous sommes réunis aujourd'hui afin de rendre hommage à ceux qui ont fait le sacrifice suprême en donnant leur vie. Nous aimerions aussi mettre en honneur ceux qui sont décédés et qui ont transmis leur courage en servant leur communauté comme pompiers. Gardons toujours une bonne pensée pour eux. Richard lived his life applying his talents to a broad range of work. Mechanically brilliant, he started off his career as a mechanic, transitioned into teaching, and ventured later on in life to become a firefighter. He was all about working hard and had many interests and hobbies, such as music, watches, cooking, coaching, and wrestling. His greatest passion was for cars, in particular, antique vehicles. The bar he set for himself was high, and so he strived for outstanding results. He was passionate about any project he took on. He made hard work look easy. He inspired people, namely his 3 children. He stopped at nothing, had a witty sense of humor, and he kept family number 1 and close to his heart. Richard leaves behind Riley, Maggie, Evan, and married for 25 years to the love of his life, Leslie Pegg.
District Fire Chief Alvin Stafford Gerard. Al was born and raised in the Billingsbridge area. Al was taught in a one-room schoolhouse built by Bradish Billings on the corner of Bank Street and Riverside Drive, which was in Gloucester Township in those days. Al went to high school at Ottawa Tech. In his younger years, Al did a lot of charity work during World War II, selling items to support the war effort. He loved sports, which he excelled in. The only game he couldn't master was lawn bowling. He couldn't get the hang of it, so he lost interest. We think it had something to do with his competitive nature. Once he started spending his winters in Florida, he developed a few more talents which he never thought he would be able to do. Skits up on stage. Years to come, he went on to play a farmer, Spider-Man, the devil, and many more, always with the best sense of humor. Al is survived by his loving partner, Ann Davison, and her family. His 3 children, Susan, Donna, and Sandy.
Fire Prevention Officer Patrick Thomas Dorion. During his school years, Pat was an outstanding athlete in many sports. His favorite was football, where he played quarterback. He joined Ottawa Fire in 1957 when he was 18 years of age. A true firefighter at heart, he loved his chosen career. In 1964, he was part of a crew responding to a major fire at the Beacon Arms Hotel. During that fire, 3 people were killed. Pat received an outstanding bravery and courage commendation for his role in saving the lives of 2 American tourists. After a successful 30-year career at Ottawa Fire, he went on to work in fire safety with the Government of Canada. Pat had an ability to deal well with the public and government officials at all levels. His ease of speech and good common sense served him well in all his endeavors, both at work and in his personal life. Pat loved Bible study, camping, and all sports. He spent many hours tossing the ball with his children and grandchildren. He was a beloved husband and family man who always put others before himself. A proud papa to his 9 grandchildren, Pat took great interest in their skills and accomplishments.
During our traditional ceremony, commemorative fire helmets are carried in the procession and placed on the monument during the reading of the names. These represent 3 categories: the line of duty deaths, the legacy of courage, and the all fallen. These have traditionally been carried by senior chiefs, retired members, and probationary firefighters, to be inclusive of all members in the fire service.
Fire Chief Thomas Eldon Mills, North Gore. Thomas, also known as LD, served overseas in World War II and later married his war bride, Mary MacDonald. He was appointed Deputy Chief in 1948 and was promoted to Chief in 1960. While volunteering in fire protection, he also operated a repair garage for years, followed by service as postmaster. Among Thomas and Mary's children were 3 sons who all became volunteer firefighters. Tom Jr. served over 25 years as a volunteer in Rideau. Gordon served as chief in Rideau and Cumberland Townships. He later became deputy in Ottawa. Sadly, youngest son Brian succumbed to a line of duty death as a volunteer in Cumberland. Firefighter Francois Dupuis. Frank was one of the first full-time firefighters hired in Cumberland and always wore his uniform proudly. In 1994, he was injured seriously in the Birch Grove fire and could no longer perform his full firefighting duties. However, he was assigned to modified duty position and tackled every job thrown at him with enthusiasm and pride. Frank loved hockey. He played goalie as a boy and continued to play as an adult. He also beamed with pride as he watched his children and grandchildren in their various sporting and dance activities. Frank was a proud but humble family man who will be missed by all.
Chaplain Monsignor Leonard Michael Lenny. Date of death October 1st, 2019. Monsignor Len served as parish priest at several churches within the Ottawa Diocese. At the same time, he served as teacher and principal within Ottawa's Catholic school system. In 1986, he was appointed as Catholic chaplain for Ottawa Fire Services, where he was available for firefighters for such things as hospital visits, counseling, and funeral services. Each year, he enjoyed helping Santa out as he marched in the Christmas parades. In his spare time, he loved restoring antique Ford vehicles, primarily Model A's and Model T's. He also had a passion for music and could bring a tear to many an eye with his rendition of Danny Boy.
Captain Marcel Mador. Captain Marcel Mador was a firefighter with the Gloucester Fire Department. Marcel was a hard worker. While working as a firefighter, he also painted houses. It's been said that he painted as many houses as he extinguished fires. Marcel a apprécié sa retraite avec sa femme Thérèse au bord du lac de Saint-André-Avelin. Marcel restera dans les mémoires de sa famille et surtout de ses petits-enfants et arrière-petits-enfants.
Captain James Andrew McDougall. In his youth, Jim liked hockey and football. He also enjoyed ice fishing and had a love of nature and its animals, particularly wolves. Jim liked to help people in his work as a firefighter and in his personal life as well. He often wrote poems, including personalized ones for different people. He was a loving spouse and devoted father. He was also a proud grandfather to James, Dylan, and Joshua.
Alan Angus Macmillan came from Scotland at the age of 5 and worked in the Nepean Fire Services, retiring as a fire prevention officer. Al was instrumental in getting the Fire Safety House program into the fire service in Nepean. His outside interests were primarily fishing and hunting. Al's daughter Lynn and son Al joined the Ottawa Fire Services. Gord Kettles worked his entire career within the Nepean Fire Services. Gord was known as a perfect fit on any shift. He was meticulous, an excellent acting officer, one of the best cooks, and always had a smile on his face. Outside of work, Gord enjoyed playing nets in hockey and enjoyed quiet times with his family.
Captain Henry James Moffat. During his high school years, Harry was a sea cadet. In his early 20s, he entered the Ottawa Fire Service, where he spent a proud career rising from rank of firefighter to that of captain. In his spare time, he loved traveling, fishing, golf, and poker, and especially Texas Hold'em. Harry was a beloved and loving family man who relished his role as a proud papi to his grandchildren. District Chief James Willis Band. Jim loved all sports. As a young man, he played hockey with the Ottawa Montagnards and football with St. Anthony's Junior Championship team. He also had a passion for golf and played the stock market. Jim was a devoted and loving family man. District Chief Gordon Douglas Eburn. Being a firefighter meant a lot to Gord. He was by nature a born helper and felt a sense of pride in what he was doing. As with most firefighters, he celebrated the wins and struggles with the losses. When not working, he loved playing golf or building beautiful pieces of furniture for family and friends. He was a loving husband, father, and proud papa to Sierra. Firefighter Peter Gerard Gravel. Peter joined the Vanier Fire Department in 1969. In 1985, Vanier Fire amalgamated with Ottawa, and Peter became an Ottawa firefighter. In his spare time, he loved to ride his Harley-Davidson, often accompanied by Eleanor, his partner and best friend. Peter also enjoyed motorcycle trips with his biking buddies, including attending Bike Week in Daytona. Peter will be especially missed by Eleanor, his daughter Suzanne, his grandchildren, and his great-grandchildren. Captain Randy Tranton. At a young age, Randy traveled throughout Europe with his parents. He managed to get a unique education through travel experiences and schooling in different countries for a few months here and there. He loved golf and was famous for his temper tantrums on the course. After retirement, Randy and his wife Linda spent winters in Florida, where they enjoyed a very active social life. Randy was a loving family man and a proud grandpa to Quinn and Harper. Firefighter Philip Francis Quinn. In recognition of Phil Francis Quinn and his contribution to the Ottawa area fire services in Osgood and the Ottawa Airport, he was raised on a dairy farm and helped out with all aspects of the daily work and chores. He enjoyed all kinds of sports and was a gifted athlete. Phil was a volunteer firefighter in Osgood while working for Transport Canada. He later became an Ottawa Airport firefighter. A loving husband and father, Phil loved being surrounded by family, especially his grandchildren Molly, Rosie, Remy, and Taylor. Firefighter Basil Charles Nichols. In his youth, Baz played football for St. Anthony in the City House League. He later played softball and curling in the Fire Department House League. His career was interrupted by a serious brain aneurysm in 1975. After several months of rehab and light duties, he made a full recovery and went on to complete almost 40 years of service. Basil enriched the lives of his family with his gentle spirit, loving ways, and infectious smile. Captain David Lorne Moffat. Dave grew up in the Hogsback area. After joining Ottawa Fire Department, he married Margaret and they had 2 children, a daughter named Kimberly and a son named Michael. David liked to participate in fire department sports such as softball, bowling, and curling. He was a devoted husband and family man and was a proud papa to his grandson Jacob. David always enjoyed a good laugh in the company of friends, and that is exactly how he lived his life to the end.
John Joseph Burke worked full-time in both the Nepean and Ottawa Fire Services. He also carried out administrative and firefighting roles in the West Carleton Fire Department prior to amalgamation. John enjoyed life to the fullest, with several occupational roles and a love for motorcycling and snowmobiling with his family and friends. Bob Bruce Scollin primarily worked for the Nepean Fire Services, but did complete his career in the Ottawa Fire Services post-amalgamation. Bob was considered a man's man who loved the simple pleasures in life and had a wonderful sense of humor. With friends and family, Bob enjoyed hunting, fishing, auction sales, and ATVing.
Fire Prevention Officer Don Brown. Don had a long history with the Volunteer Fire Services of Huntley, West Carleton. He served in the capacities of firefighter, fire inspector, and fire prevention officer during his 25-year career. Don was a quiet man who led a quiet life, loved bugs and nature and working with his hands. His full-time career was with Agriculture Canada as an entomologist. When Canada Customs would receive specimens brought back as souvenirs, or a farmer found a new species they hadn't seen before, they sent them to Don for identification. Don leaves behind his wife Lucille, his son John, and grandson Tyler. His ashes will be scattered in his beloved Huntley Woods.
Lynn Fiona McMillan started her career in the Nepean Fire Services as a part-time dispatcher. She became a full-time employee in the Ottawa Fire Services at amalgamation. Lynn adored and spent much time with her 2 nieces, Talia and Sienna. Lynn also enjoyed camping and the odd trip to her favorite place, Las Vegas.
Captain Larry Simser. To explain Larry to folks who did not know him, he was a big, strong, gruff, boisterous fellow who had a heart of gold and would help anyone in need. Larry grew up in Hintonburg and went to school in Ottawa. His family then moved later out to the Osgood area. Larry married Doris, who had a daughter, Susan, who he helped raise. Larry joined the Ottawa Fire Department in 1960 and was a wonderful addition to any station he worked. He rose to the rank of captain. Larry had a love for hunting and fishing. He went into an old age home on Bridlewood where he was always helping out around the place and taking folks to doctor's appointments and many other chores. He was a diamond in the rough, and he will be missed by all who knew him. Captain Robert Arthur Smith. Bob was a proud firefighter who carried that role and his service with honor. It also set the tone for how he carried himself in life. He had an enduring and outgoing character and truly cared for others. His family takes comfort knowing that Bob will be watching over his children, his grandchildren, and Kath, his partner. Firefighter Thomas Roy Hill. Tom spent most of his fire career in the busier fire stations in the city core. He thus gained much experience fighting a lot of major fires in central Ottawa. Tom had a variety of personal interests, including in the world of business. He managed to initiate several partnership ventures during his life. He was a devoted husband to Mary Lynn and a father to Stephen and Bradley, who predeceased him in 1999. Tom was blessed to be a proud grandpa to his granddaughters Riley, Megan, Keena, and Paige. Training Officer Arthur McNamara. Art led a life of always caring for others. First he was a hospital orderly, then a personal care worker. Next he became a paramedic and then a firefighter. During his career, much of this occupational work was carried out simultaneously. Art retired from Ottawa Fire as a training officer, where he'd been able to pass along much of his caring nature to others. Art was a beloved husband and a devoted father.
Don Nesbitt retired as a platoon chief in the Nepean Fire Services and was considered to be one of the best officers in this fire service for a number of reasons. His no-nonsense attitude, combined with a well-known sense of humor, provided Don the ability to be a true leader. For this reason, Don was always loved and respected by his shift members.
Firefighter Gilbert Semur. Gilbert joined the Eastview Fire Department in 1961. In 1985, Vanier Fire amalgamated with Ottawa, and Gilbert became an Ottawa firefighter. In his spare time, he loved to be outdoors hunting and fishing. Once winter came, he and his wife, Aline, would head to Florida. He was a very proud husband, father, grandfather, and great-grandfather.
Fire Prevention Officer Arthur Herskovich. Arthur began his career with fire services with the Westmount Fire Department in Montreal. In 1997, he joined the Gloucester Fire Department as a dispatcher. With the municipal amalgamation of 2001, Arthur became an Ottawa Fire dispatcher. He later was appointed as a fire prevention officer. His interests include motorcycling, movies, and he enjoyed travel. Arthur was the loving and devoted husband of Pauline Campbell. He will be missed by his many family members, colleagues, and friends.
This concludes the 19th Annual Ottawa Firefighters Memorial Recognition Ceremony. I would like to close with the firefighters' prayer. When I am called to duty, God, wherever flames may rage, give me strength to save someone, whatever be its age. Help me embrace a little child before it is too late, or save an older person from an almost uncertain fate. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest shout, and quickly and effectively to put the fire out. And if according to my fate, my days should come to an end, please bless and protect with your protecting hands my family and my friends.